most corrupt, the dirtiest, the most evil players in the roller derby world. Now, they're back to avenge their name. The Wheels of Justice.
And I'm LeGrand Mark.
And we're just going to get to it.
Dump Truck and I were just talking about, we believe the last time that we announced together was at this very same game, battling for third place. Rat City is Carmen Getsum, just going to the box for a major.
That is going to be a major illegal procedure. She's taking a timeout. First jam of this bout, deciding who's going to get the trip to Denver, Colorado for the WFTDA Championships, hosted by the Denver Roller Dolls.
And White Flag just ended up in the box as well. We're going to do a little jammer hokey pokey that releases Carmen Getsum, and she's back in. And White Flight right behind her.
Both jammers back on the track, and it's going to be 4-on-3 in the pack. Advantage going to Rose City. Carmen gets up in the back of the pack, trying to make some way in the middle. White Flight found a line to the inside, but Rat City shut it down.
Carmen Getsum having a little bit of trouble with the two wall of Portland's blockers in the front. She's able to get around. Oh, knocked back.
Moby-Wan Kenobi getting some contact there alongside number 55, Leia Smackdown. Slowing Carmen down a bit, but not enough. This will be a full 2-minute jam. We've got under a minute to go in it.
And White Flight still trying to get around the likes of Juliet Bravo. Juliet Bravo's legs straddle each line of the track from time to time.
White Flight now out of the pack. Here's Carmen Getsum looking for a first scoring pass. Getting a shirt whip there off of Juliet Bravo in turn 1. Carmen Getsum now in turn 2. Only has 2 defenders to pass.
Carmen Getsum having a tough time around now. She's got to get around Mercy.
Mercy and Leia Smackdown, dynamic duo, holding back Carmen Getsum. Not easily done. Carmen Getsum, one of the finest skaters in women's flat track roller derby today.
Any skater that has her own DVD, you know that she's tough business.
White Flight in front of the pack. Looks like she's going to be playing a little bit of defensive jamming, waiting for her pack to swallow Carmen Getsum, try and get some separation as she picks up all 4 available points on the floor.
Carmen Getsum almost recycled further back and back, asking the refs, hey, I think it's a little bit spread out here, but the jam ends before any further discussion can happen.
So first jam, already power jam situations. Both teams have had jammers in the penalty box. Both teams have now scored 4 points. So guess what? We're starting all over again.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think it's going to be indicative of how this game is going to go. It's going to be pretty even, Steven. Both these teams are incredibly talented, and they've met before. They know each other very well.
This weekend in Portland, Oregon has been unbelievably dramatic. Rose City, the home league here at the tournament, hosting a fantastic regional playoff, has been climbing the ladder, and it looks like Rat City's here to play some roller derby too.
Yes, indeed. That is Primp Deddy out in front of the lead jammer position, followed close behind.
Pack moving at a decent pace right now. Rose City owning the front, trying to get some separation. Control the pace of play right now, trying to keep things speedy, so Primp Deddy has to work harder to pick up those points.
And it's Sulfuric Acid now re-engaging back of the pack. No points for Sulfuric. And we got a 0-point jam.
Sulfuric Acid picking up a minor back block there at the end of the jam. And again, it is 4-4. And there's still 26 minutes, 42 seconds to go in the first period.
It looks like we got Scald Eagle lining up for Portland against Juliet Bravo for Rat City. Rat City normally reaching towards Juliet Bravo a little bit later in the game when they're looking for a momentum change, just starting it right off and getting her right in the game. Scald Eagle has been so effective this weekend in both point scoring and in blocking.
She has had one hell of a weekend. She is new to this sport, obviously not new to skating, and every single time she hits the track, you can see that she immediately has a greater understanding of the game. There she goes inside turn 3, picks up lead jammer status.
Mobi-Wan Kenobi trying to get his shoulder on Juliet Bravo, unable to make it connect. And Layla Smackdown also doing some good defense for Portland in the front.
A lot of separation. We've seen this for the second time now in this bout. Rat City now in the front position. All ladies trying to stay together. Rose City holding the back of the pack.
Missile America knocks Scald Eagle out to the outside. Method of Madness and Serious Mischief going to do some work on her.
Scald Eagle rejoins the action, having to be recycled there. And it looks like Juliet Bravo gets released from the pack on her initial pass. 5 points there for Rose City. It's a grand slam for Portland.
And Juliet Bravo looking up to pick up some of those easy points. Not going to do it. Scald Eagle is too smart. Calling off the jam. That puts Rose City in the purple, 5 points ahead.
This broadcast brought to you in part by Dr. Hauschka. They're celebrating the fresh faces of the WFTDA. Check them out. Dr. Hauschka is the official bruise healer. Lose the bruise with Dr. Hauschka's Ouchade.
And we've got Sully Skullkicker lining up in the purple for Portland against Anarchist in the white for Rat City. No pack situation called. Sully Skullkicker first to engage the pack as Anarchist is behind a wall of 2.
Trying to get around Mick Swagger. Does so. Anarchist finds the inside line. Boy, she's been looking great this season. Coming off an injury, skating stronger, in my opinion, than she ever has.
Anarchist is really a bruiser. You could see her just claw her way through that pack. That's what she's known for. If you got Anarchist on the track, you do not want to get hit by her.
That's right. Sully Skullkicker, a very pivotal person in the success that Rose City has had. Not able to pick up any points there as Anarchist picks up 2, calls off the jam, and we're going to walk away and get ready to start another one here in a moment.
And we'd like to thank Elemental Technologies. Elemental Technologies, the world's most powerful video processing solutions.
On the jammer line for Rat City, number 12, Carmen Getsum, and for Rose City, number 54, White Flight. Scored now, 9 points Rose City, 6 for Rat City. Rat City currently in white and emerald, Rose City in purple and white.
A slow pack, but not as slow as we've seen earlier this weekend. These skaters are actually skating. God bless them. Carmen Getsum trying to get through that 4 wall in the front. Rose City pulling a page from Rat City's book by forming these front four walls.
White Flight still trying to get out of the back of the pack. Owning the back of the pack seems to be what the key to success is here at the Western Region Playoff.
Mercy trying to clear a hole for White Flight. But that's Missile America, 3-2-1, and Shorty Ounce, a dynamic duo in front. Carmen Getsum just getting around. Carmen gets some lead jam.
Carmen gets them out of the pack halfway around the track now as White Flight gets a whip, and she's off to the races, hoping to catch up to Carmen Gets them as soon as possible to hopefully stop the bleeding a bit. Rat City owning the back of the pack.
Carmen Gets them skating in hard and straight into the inside.
You got to wonder about that strategy. You want to get in front of that pack, give those points to your jammer. Don't make them work for them so hard.
Yeah, exactly. Those are called dead points, easy to get points, right there in the back. Rat City doing a really great job keeping White Flight behind their hips from scoring.
As is Rose City, who is able to hold back Carmen Gets them for almost a full lap behind that four wall. That is working very well together, and they put her to the dirt, make her call off the jam. Looks like Rat City picks up 3, Rose City picks up deuce.
Just a 1-point differential on that last jam, and it looks like sulfuric acid lining up again for Rose City against Primp Daddy for Rat.
And it's a 2-point differential on the scoreboard. Rose City with 11, Rat City with 9, 22 minutes, 6 seconds to go in the first period.
Pack position been so important during this playoff and for this year.
Definitely is that. Primp Daddy jamming for Rat City, sulfuric acid for Rose City.
Goody Two Skates coming in from the box. Gets right in front of sulfuric acid for some great positional blocking.
Trying to find some soul on the outside. She does get put to the back behind a fantastic wall of 4 Rat City skaters.
And that is Mick Swagger putting the big shoulder on Primp Daddy.
Jalapeno Business also getting in the way of sulfuric acid, but she's able to almost get completely through the pack.
Killa Kelly was able to knock sulfuric acid, but went out herself, so sulfuric acid had the pass to come back in.
Sulfuric acid, the first jammer to get out of the pack, not your lead jammer, as she is now picking up points. Had almost no room whatsoever to gain any advantage in points there, but she found enough to pick up 4.
But it's Primp Daddy that has been called as the lead jammer. Primp Daddy owns this jam. Primp Daddy wisely calling it off before sulfuric acid has a chance to rack up any more points on that board.
Very intense game right now. You're seeing some of the finest skating on the track, and they're using the finest gear like Antic boots, Reckless wheels, and Moto bearings, revolutionizing roller derby.
And up again at the lineup that we seen earlier, that is Scald Eagle up against Juliet Bravo for Rat. Rat continuing to form a 4-wall in the back of the pack at the start of the jam.
Pack moving. Juliet Bravo gets knocked to the infield, must be recycled.
Scald Eagle looks like she's got a good outside line. She does.
Boy, what a move. That's teamwork right there. Got a lot of help from her pack. Scald Eagle saw an opportunity and was in the right position to take advantage of it. Now she owns the jam clock, Mort.
Yes, indeed. Juliet Bravo still having a tough time breaking through that 2-wall in the back of Rose City. And it's getting no better when she gets to the front.
Wow, finding the inside seam at the apex between turn 3 and 4, but it looks like she has a major track cut coming her way, and this is going to be a power jam advantage Rat City. And all that Juliet Bravo is hoping is the pack gets a little bit more spread out. As it does, she makes it through with the no pack situation, and she is out. She's got a minor track cut, so she will not be lead jammer, but she's now in a scoring position. Full 2-minute jam, 1 minute already gone by on the jam clock. Juliet Bravo going to the outside of turn 4. It's Mercy versus Juliet, and she comes out victorious with 5 points to boot. Juliet Bravo on her second scoring pass, engaging the back 2-wall of Rose City, gets knocked to the inside. Mobi-Wan Kenobi now being trapped by Rat. Juliet Bravo having to deal with Mercy and her crew, who have been dominating pack play throughout the weekend. That's what got them here today. Absolutely. Mobi-Wan Kenobi able to break out of that trap, so the pack stays together. Juliet Bravo's now got a 4-wall to contend with. Juliet Bravo does get through the pack. Check it out. She gets 4 points. Picks up a minor track cut. And that's our first lead change of the day. Rat City currently with 18, Rose City with 15. Juliet Bravo turning up the heat as she blows right by the entire pack. Picks up 5 points. The Scald Eagle's right behind her with 4 of her own. Yes, indeed. Mercy getting way out there in the front of the pack and just laying on the shoulders to the last minute. Another place you can find all this fantastic gear you're seeing on the track and all of the West Region playoff events are going to be Roller Girl Skates. You need to check them out, rollergirlskates.com, a great supporter of all things flat track roller derby. We also want to thank our official sports medicine providers of the Bridgetown Brawl, OHSU, helping keep our skaters safe.
And lining up in the purple for Rose City right now, Sully Skull Kicker against Anarchist, number 5 for Rat.
Sully trying to go on the outside, trying to squeeze in between two of the Rat City blockers. Anarchist still caught in the back behind a 3-wall of purple and white.
Sully Skull Kicker pulls a penalty from Reanimator.
She gets out of the pack, but there is not going to be a lead jammer status owned by her. That is Anarchist. Grabs lead jammer status, immediately calls it off. Smart play.
Yeah, that's absolutely the kind of derby that we would expect from both teams. Both teams have a long history in roller derby. They know the rules. They know how to play it.
Rat City now with 23 over Rat City's 19. We're going to see this go back and forth. I believe we saw that happen last year.
Absolutely.
17 minutes, 5 seconds ago in the first period. Carmen gets some, number 12 for Rat City on the jammer line, and White Flight, number 54 for Rose City on the Pabst Blue Ribbon jammer line right next to her.
Last year it was Rose City that knocked Rat City out of the 3rd position. Rat City's trying not to make it a repeat. Missile America pushing White Flight to the inside, and she's going to take a penalty.
She is, and that's going to give White Flight lead jammer status. And White Flight looks to the outside to talk a little trash, it seems, to Missile America. And right behind her is going to be Carmen Gets Some. Now we're getting a little bump and rub going on. The friction's not going to be just coming from the track. I have a feeling we're going to be getting a little bit of lip service during this game as well.
Yes, indeed. Carmen Gets Some had her own feelings about what White Flight did by calling off the jam right then.
23 still for Rat City, 19 Rose City. It is a chess match at this point. A painful one, but a chess match no less.
And two incredibly fast skaters lining up right now. That is Primp Daddy, number 73 in the white for Rat against Sulfuric Acid, number 20 in the purple for Rose.
Rose City taking a knee, causing a no-pack situation, forcing forward momentum. Both of these teams here to skate today.
And Primp Daddy just using her own jammer defense. Blocker up, but Missile America gets pushed out, leaves it wide open for Sulfuric Acid.
She's going to be your lead jammer owning the jam clock. She can call the jam off at any time simply by touching her hips. That's a reward for getting through the pack cleanly.
And Dump Truck, that was such good heads-up play by Sulfuric Acid right there. Just saw the opportunity, she takes it.
Sulfuric Acid just gets right around Hardcora, starting to edge her way to the front. Looking for a window. Rat City not giving that away.
Sulfuric Acid having a tough time behind. Serious Mischief finally gets to the inside of her.
There you go, 5 points for Rat City. And here we go, another lead change. Now 24 Rose City, Rat City with 23.
Primp Daddy been held dead in the water by the Rose City defense. Primp Daddy playing a little defense now. Very smart heads up jamming. Pushing Sulfuric Acid back to as far as they can without creating a no pack.
Sulfuric still stuck in the back, but I tell you, when she sees a hole, she may be at the very back of the pack, where she has this thing in her mind where she sees things unfold, and she's just able to take advantage of it almost before it happens.
It really helps that her acceleration is so very, very quick.
29 Rose City now, Rat City with 23. Primp Daddy out of the pack. Jam clock owned by Sulfuric Acid, who gets out of the pack once again, and it's 4 points for Sulfuric Acid.
And the lead has changed. Rose City now 33, Rat City 23, 10 points between them. That is all Sulfuric Acid.
Boy, the crowd here is live. We are in Portland, Oregon at the 2011 WFTDA West Region Playoffs, and Portland has brought their home crowd.
Lining up on the line right now, that is Scald Eagle in the purple for Portland and Anarchist, number 5 in the white for Rat.
This Big 5 tournament spring brought to you in part by Adam Wheels, the official wheel of the WFTDA, and you might as well slap him on some Rydell skates, a partner and official skate of the Women's Flat Track Derby Association. Scald Eagle at the back of the pack, trying to get by that 4-wall of white Rat City blockers, but it looks like she's going to pick up a major back block and head to the penalty box.
That was a major black block on Wiley Peyote. Wiley's a small lady, and if you hit her hard, she's going to go down.
Power jam now, advantage going to Rose City, Rat City, excuse me.
And that is Anarchist coming around turn 2, looking for an opportunity, but there is a great 4-wall of Portland in the front. It is the Portland Purple floor wall.
Mick Swagger up there trying to slow things down. Wiley Peyote going against Mick Swagger. A very different comparison in stature and skaters, but Wiley knows how to use every ounce of what makes up her body.
Rat City now trying to do a trap on Portland with Mick Swagger as the trap E. Mick Swagger able to get back out around Killa Kelly.
Just before Skatrina gets put in the penalty box, she had a great move there, getting right in front of the jammer from Rat City while she was down to turn 4.
And we are just about nearly a minute into this incredible power jam kill by Rose City right now.
Scald Eagle now on her feet, meaning she's got 10 seconds or less left in the penalty box before she could rejoin the play.
Anarchist is the lead jammer. Scald Eagle timing her entrance. And she's going to pick up some positional blocking against Anarchist.
Anarchist able to hop around her leg as she did try to skate big and get in her way. But now it looks like Anarchist is going to be going against Mercy, who puts her to the infield.
And Scald Eagle's got to get around Killa Kelly. Killa Kelly pushes her to the inside.
Wow, nice move. Barely gets the toe stops in there. Scald Eagle able to finally make her initial pass.
And Anarchist getting out front to get her all over points. She calls off the jam. What you do if you're here, you need to check out Merch Mama. Merch Mama's supplying swag to the Derby Nation. Check them out online.
Yes, and you need to check out this score. We are back at where we started. It's a tie game, and we've only got 11 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the first period.
And that is Carmen Getsum lining up in the white for Rat at number 12 against number 8, Sally Skullkicker, in the purple for Rose.
What a game we've seen thus far. It has been 100% roller derby. They've been skating. They have been using some of the great strategy that we're both aware that they have in their playbook. What a fantastic game we're seeing before us.
Absolutely great pack control, great ideas on when to call off the jam and when to let it go. Some fantastic roller derby for you watching at home.
Definitely. It has been a challenging day for jammers as both of these packs are great at containing those who love to score points. Sully trying to cut on the inside, getting through the pack. Is she able? Yes, she is, and she's your lead jammer for Rose City.
And Rat City starting to fill up the box right now as Juliet Bravo and Reanimator head to the box for majors. And now it's going to be Serious Mischief that's heading to the box for a major, but there's no room at the end, so she's going to be probably called back onto the track.
That's right, it's going to be for a major use of forearms. Once there's room in the penalty box, she will then serve her penalty.
And now Carmen Getsum heading to the penalty box for a Rat. This is going to be a huge jam for Rose.
Well, it's back-to-back grand slams thus far. Sully picking up 10 points for her Rose City Rollers in this power jam. Advantage Rose City. Call it 15, ladies and gentlemen. Rose City turning up the heat. This is when most of the damage is done. I think that's obvious by now, LeGrand Mort.
Absolutely, and Shorty Islands and Serious Mischief, the lone two Rat City blockers out there doing their best and knocking Sully Skullkicker to a complete dead stop for a second, and she's off again.
20 points. I say 20 points for Rose City as Sully gets out of the pack. So I can see her entire mouth guard right now.
And it is Reanimator and Juliet Bravo rejoining the Rat City defense as Serious Mischief goes out to serve her penalty.
This could possibly be one of the most fantastic jams that Rose City has been a part of thus far. Now, granted, we've got a whole lot of game left. By no means does 58 to 33 mean anything. Is this a 30-point jam we're seeing in front of us right now in the West Region playoffs?
It would be crazy if Sully Skullkicker beat Primp Daddy's record right here while playing Rat City.
That would be kind of amazing. Smart move by Rat City. They want to calm the nerves. They're calling a timeout.
That's exactly what Rat City needs to do right now. Dump Truck, they need to figure out how to get their gameplay back together and change this momentum and stop this onslaught of Rose City points.
This jam started off, the last jam, started off 33 to 33. 30-point jam there by Rose City. We've got 9 minutes, 26 seconds to go. And we want to thank Terminal Gravity Pale Ale. If you're ever local to the area or you're your finest retailer of adult beverages, make sure you check out Terminal Gravity Pale Ale. And also Blood and Thunder Magazine, worldwide roller derby coverage, and the World Cup.
And it looks like there may have been some discussion about Carmen Getsum's re-entry onto the track.
Carmen Getsum, part of Fast Girl Skates, but I think you might be just a little familiar with.
The first brick and mortar roller derby store in the world, Fast Girl Skates. If you want great skates and gear, these are the experts.
On the jammer line right now for Rose City is going to be number 20, Sulfuric Acid.
Against number 5, Anarchist.
I like this matchup. You look at their body makeups, they're very different, but they're very successful in their own right. This is going to be an exciting jam.
Anarchist more of a bruiser, Sulfuric Acid more of a hardcore speed skating style.
Yeah, she's definitely an opportunist. She'll see some things unfold in front of her and somehow does the math before it goes down.
I wish I was a minute in Sulfuric Acid's head.
I do too. I wish I was as tough as Anarchist and as smart as Sulfuric Acid with their powers combined.
And I wish I was as pretty as you, dump truck.
Tell me more, Sugar Lips. Sulfuric Acid at the front of the pack gets put to the infield where she's got to be recycled.
It is Killa Kelly with some huge shoulders. She's going to go out for a high block.
Anarchist being recycled now. Lead jammer being given to Sulfuric Acid of the Rose City Rollers.
Anarchist trying to get around Mobi-Wan Kenobi right now and having a tough time as Sulfuric Acid just makes it a little slalom through the pack, out for 5. And that is Killa Kelly heading to the penalty box. Rat City just being devastated by penalties right now, dump truck.
That has been the downfall thus far. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. We've got a lot of game to play. Right now, another grand slam for the Rose City Rollers has 10 points in this jam, Mort.
And right now, if I'm Rat City, I am just praying that this is not another 30-point jam, but it's looking that way.
They've got time on the board, just under a minute to go in the jam. Rose City also owns the clock. It's not over until Sulfuric Acid wants it to be over.
Anarchist is finally out, and she's about quarter track behind the pack right now.
It was almost like it was a power jam with the Rose City wall containing Anarchist. Not easily done.
Hardcore, a huge shoulder on Sulfuric Acid that she was basically whipped into.
You know, Hardcore, I don't know how she's a sneaky blocker, but she sure is. Let's say she'll be looking one direction, skating over there. She's aware of where that jammer is. She doesn't have to stare at you to know where you are, and can just come up with those opportunistic hits right there. You see the whip coming, she can break it up. It's called a shoulder. This is called the track. You guys should meet.
Maybe you two should be introduced by Hardcore.
That's right. White Flight jamming for Rose City.
And Missile America, number 3-2-1 for Rat. Missile America, just one blocker for Rose in the front, gets pushed to the outside. Blocker goes down, leaves it wide open. This is what Rat needs. Missile America out front as lead jam.
Boy, she fought hard for that. Didn't get a lot of distance on the track, but there was a lot of fight that it took to get through that pack. White Flight now has been released.
Beautiful skating by Missile America to take that outside line.
Looks like that's going to be a low block, a.k.a. tripping, for those of you at home that wonder how that goes down.
But that was enough to recycle Missile America back to the back of the pack. And White Flight gets a business from Jalapeno Business. Deuce, shoulder to the outside.
Missile America find the inside line. No problems there for her. She's going to pick up 4 points and continue to move on down the track.
And White Flight having a tough time with the Rat defense right now as Rat tries to reform a 4-wall in the front. Missile America coming right into the back of Cadillac. That's going to get her a major back block.
So now we're in a power jam situation. Advantage going to Rose City as far as jammers are concerned. But in the pack, it looks like it is 4-on-1. 2 blockers in the box for Rose City. I'm assuming that they did not put enough blockers on the track to begin this jam.
Yeah, and it is Shorty Ounce doing her best to hold back White Flight. But White Flight's going off for a 4th minor. That's going to release 3-2-1 Missile America for Rat, and Rat is back on the track with 20 seconds left in this jam.
This is the worst time to not put enough skaters on that track. You have an opportunity here to do big things, and when you only have one person as your support staff, that's going to cause you to you got to try something, right? And you're going to end up getting a penalty, and that's just exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened. Missile America pushed to the inside. She's coming to the back of the pack, but that is the end of the jam. But it is not the end of coverage if you are checking out Blood and Thunder Magazine, worldwide roller derby coverage of and the World Cup.
And make sure you check out Merch Mama supplying swag to the Derby Nation and Five Stride Skate Shop as well. They're represented here by a few ladies from Gotham, who it's always a pleasure to see. OMG, WTF, and Bonnie Thunders. Oh, that was magical.
I know, it's beautiful. I have a soft place in my heart for that dump truck. But starting out, we've got Juliet Bravo against sulfuric acid. Juliet Bravo clawing her way through the Rose defense, unable to get through. Pushed to the inside by Mel Mangles.
Juliet Bravo trying to get some separation there from Obi-Wan Kenobi. Get separation from Mercy as well as she blows to the pack and picks up lead jammer.
Yes, indeed. That is Juliet Bravo out as lead jammer, followed not too far behind, about a half track right now, by sulfuric acid.
Sulfuric acid finally out of the pack. Juliet Bravo starting her scoring run. Got to go against Obi-Wan and Mercy, who have both been cleaned out of her way. Juliet Bravo is going to pick up 4 points. Calls off the jam.
Juliet Bravo, known as a momentum changer, that may have been what she just did. They have 30 points separating between them right now. 78 Rose City, 48 Rat, with about 4 minutes left in this first period.
Again, thank you to Dr. Hauschka for being the official bruise healer of the Women's Flat Track Derby Association. Take out the ouch with Dr. Hauschka.
And lining up on the line with a star on their helmet right now, that is Sully Skullkicker, number 8 in the purple for Rose, against Primp Daddy, number 73 in the white for Rat.
Sully Skullkicker trying to drive her way in the outside, but Reanimator and friends making sure that that is not the easiest route to take.
And Primp Daddy's got to get around No Mercy and Crew. No Mercy just laying it into her. And No Mercy is going to get a major forearm, and she's going to have to go sit in the comfy seats.
I love seeing those big hits, but you got to make sure you keep everything tucked in the way it is and you're using your body appropriately. Primp Daddy using her entire core to stay on her feet while she picks up 5 more points, Mort.
Primp Daddy just looking to take back some of those points Rat City lost earlier to penalties. She wisely calls off the jam with Sully Skullkicker right at her side.
Wow, what an exciting game this is. Rose City 78, Rat City with 53 just knocking on the door, waiting to come on in.
And Dump Truck Rat City started to lose their way a little bit there about 5 to 8 minutes ago as they started filling the penalty box, now getting a handle on their penalties, and we're seeing it reflected in the score.
Definitely. You gotta like to see the ability to change what you're doing during your gameplay.
Absolutely.
That's a smart, well-versed team in the rules of the WFTDA.
Speaking of smart and well-versed, it is Scald Eagle, number 50, lining up for Portland against Anarchist, and Scald Eagle looks like she took off a little bit early. Anarchist is protesting. There was never a second whistle, she thinks.
This is one of those moments where obviously you can't change it, so you need to deal the cards that are in your hand, and Scald Eagle's going to continue to skate, and Anarchist needs to continue to do the same thing. You can't change it right in the middle of the play, so just put your head down. Your coach will take care of it. I guarantee you they're aware.
Though if I was betting money or a shot or something, I would say that there might be an official timeout after this particular jam.
You're such a wise man as we see Sir Osis with the high fives and touch the shoulders. Welcome to the first official timeout of the number 3, number 4 game at West Region Playoffs.
And if you want to get some of those ref shirts, you might want to go to Derby Supply. Derby Supply, the best customer service in the business, period.
They do have some great ref stuff over there, and they're made by Derby Skins. I was actually wearing one yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
So comfortable. No one ever wants to see me in stripes like that. But the apparel is fantastic. Derby Skins will last you forever, and you will get fantastic customer service at derbysupply.net.
And if you're looking to round out that outfit, check out Sock Dreams. Unique, sexy, comfy socks for the roller girl and everyone.
You're sexy. All right, looks like we're getting things set up on the track. The girls are ready to go, but the officials still have some conferring to do. Up until this point, we are at the 2-minute warning, if you will. Rose City, 82. Rat City, 53. Rat City is in the purple and white. Rose City in white and emerald.
And this official timeout, they are indeed discussing that potential false start, which was the root of that confusion right there. Rat City didn't believe there was a second whistle blown. The Rose City jammer went out. They believe that was a false start, and they're talking about it now.
Now, a big factor there is going to be the crowd. The crowd is of sizable nature right now while Rose City and Rat City are on the track, and that's got to be an issue. You almost think that if you're a skater, you'll watch the prosecutor who is out there as our whistleblower. You might want to watch and see those shoulders move whenever they hit that whistle so that you have a visual clarification and an audible clarification. You may not get to hear that whistle every time.
No, that's for certain. So they've decided that was not a false start, but Killa Kelly picked up a 4th minor and now is joining Reanimator in the box.
All right, so we should get back to business here in just a second. Mr. Sister out there holding it down over by the pivot line, letting everybody know that this timeout is still official, and now it's time to get back to it.
Absolutely, and getting back to it, we've got sulfuric acid number 20 in the purple for Rose against Juliet Bravo number 76 in the white for Rat.
There's the first whistle. Pack taking his time. You know, Rat City wants to eat up the penalty clock right now, and so does Rose, so this kind of helps them both. Mercy was the skater on her feet, meaning she had the least amount of time there, so this helps Rose more than it does Rat.
And the 2 whistles go. Everybody heard it that time. That is Juliet Bravo going to the outside of Mercy, finding no love.
Reanimator now on her feet for Rat City. When they stand on their feet in the penalty box, it means they've got 10 seconds or less left to serve that penalty.
Now sulfuric acid taking that outside line. She is out front as the lead for Rose.
Looking fantastic. Both of these squads are well prepared for this game, and you can see that they've played each other before.
And Mel Mangles and Mercy getting a little bit too far. They've got to let Juliet go, but sulfuric acid running into the back of Hardcore finds her way to the inside. So opportunistic, like Dump Truck was saying. The hole was there for a split second, and she was through it.
You know, she's aware. It's almost like she's got a spidey sense of like, uh-oh, something happened over here. There's a negative space where a body could go. I think I'll put my body there.
Absolutely. The world hates a vacuum, and sulfuric acid loves to fill it.
15 seconds to go in the first period, folks. It is Rose City 86, Rat City 53 here at the 2011 West Region Playoffs.
And that is Anarchist number 5 lining up for Rat against Sully Skullkicker number 8 for Rose.
Anarchist trying to take the inside line. Sully right next to her with shoulder to shoulder there for a moment. And it looks like Rat City's losing their pivot.
That is Wiley Peyote, yeah.
Anarchist trying to get a fight there, but it looks like Obi-Wan Kenobi's going to get a nice little pull through. Just enough for Sully Skullkicker to get through the pack and get lead jammer status.
Yes, indeed. Layla Smackdown doing some good work there as well. We've got a pile up in turn 4. That leaves it wide open for Anarchist to get on through on the outside. And she's starting to pick up, but she's still about a half track behind.
Sully Skullkicker does get tripped up there in turn 2. As she goes down, she calls off the jam. Looks like she picks up 4 points on that pass. Rat City picks up 0.
And we are at the end of this first period now. Such an exciting first period. Dump Truck, Rat City having a whole bunch of trouble with penalties, started to pick it up again and having trouble back towards the end. Rat City 53, Rose City 90. I'm expecting that the second one's going to be a real barn burner.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here at the 2011 WFTDA West Region Playoff. My name is Dump Truck.
And I'm LeGrand Mort.
We're going to do a little bit of a wrap-up of what we've seen in the first period. Now, we've seen a lot of, we've been handed some stats here because our stats crew is fantabulous.
Beautiful stats crew.
And you're looking at the top scorers for Rose City. Sully Skullkicker and Sulfuric Acid, both with 34 points apiece. Sully Skullkicker has played in 25% of the jams. That's not a lot of time on the track. That's a lot of productivity. And Sulfuric Acid with 30% of the time. Same story there. You go down to Rat City. Their top scorers are going to be Anarchist with 14 points. 30% of the time has been played by her. And Juliet Bravo pulling out 18 with 35%. You've got a few other skaters out there that have been jamming. I mean, not jamming necessarily, but they've been involved in these jams very, very heavily. It's obvious that both of these teams have their blockers to lean on as well. For Rose City, Mick Swagger been in there 50% of gameplay so far, and that has to reflect what we're going to see in penalties.
Absolutely, it absolutely does reflect what we're seeing in the penalties. Mick Swagger coming in at 5 penalties, Dump Truck, in this first half alone, so she's got to be really careful in the second half. However, both teams are pretty even as far as overall penalties. The Wheels of Justice in at 17 overall penalties and Rat City in at 18. But the Rat City has more penalties per person. Serious Mischief with 4, Missile America with 3, Reanimator with 2, and Carmen gets them with 2. Except for Mick Swagger, Hurricanes Katrina, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Mel Mangles only have 2 each.
That's right, 7 trips to the penalty box gets you a free seat in the stands to watch the rest of the game, and you bring up Serious Mischief. For Rat City, she has played 65% of the jams that we've seen so far. She's a big, big blocker for for Rat City.
She absolutely is. She absolutely is the same as Mick Swagger. So both of them are great assets to each team, and they're both getting really, really close to having to leave the game.
You know, you also got to talk about Mercy, number 100 for Rose City, alongside Moby Wan Kenobi. They're a dynamic duo. You see them out there a lot. They've been out there 45% of the times. But I don't even see Mercy's name on the short list for who has the most penalty trips. Moby Wan Kenobi on there with 2 trips right now. So she's got 5 more opportunities before she's asked to leave the action.
Yeah, Mercy's been a real hard hitter, and she's been skating really very clean during this game.
Reanimator for Rat City alongside Shorty Ounce have both been out there for 50% of the game as well, and I don't see any of their names out there either.
Well, yeah, it looks like Reanimator is coming in with 2 penalties so far, 2 trips to the box. Reanimator a little bit further away from having to worry about penalties so far.
That's a good stat to have. If you're a Reanimator, you've been out there for 50% of gameplay, and you've only been to the penalty box twice.
That's huge.
Yeah, you're worth keeping around for sure.
Absolutely. Reanimator's so effective, not only as a jammer, as a blocker. We haven't seen her jam all so much during the first period. Maybe we'll see a little bit more of that in the second time.
I would love to. We're going to be going through safety checks before our second period begins. Here come our NSOs and our officials coming out, getting ready for the second period of Rose City versus Rat City. This game determining who's going to go to Denver, Colorado for the Women's Flat Track Derby Association Championship Tournament, hosted by the Denver Roller Dolls.
And if you're sitting there at home and you're getting a little hungry, it's maybe time to send somebody out on a donut run. Voodoo Donuts. Voodoo Donuts, the magic is in the hole.
You know, donuts and running never really went together so well. I don't think that's kind of amazing. You don't run after them, you run to go get them.
You run to go get the donut. Well, they roll away.
Whoa, that's not nice.
No, that's terrible. And we've just about completed the safety check, and we're going to get into some great derby in the second period of this game of Rose City in the purple and Rat City in the white.
Thanks to the following tournament partners for making the West Region playoff happen: Derby Skins, keeping that shiny hiney, and 5on5 Magazine, Fat Tire Amber Ale, Wicked Skatewear, Sun City Skates, Iron Dog Clothing, BuyNewSkates.com, and Vanilla Skates.
And Rat City's going to start the second period with 2 blockers in the box. That looks like it is Serious Mischief and Wiley Peyote, if I'm correct. And it looks like Mel Mangles is going to be in the box for Rose. So 1 blocker advantage, Rose City starting the second period. Juliet Bravo in the white against Sulfuric Acid in the purple.
Got a cheering section up there in the crowd cheering for Bravo. You gotta love it. Rat City fans definitely showed up. A lot of the fans are within the community. Rose City, this is their hometown, so they've definitely brought their own arsenal of crazy fans as well.
Yeah, you can definitely hear it here at the track. When Rose City does something great, the fans go wild, and this whole place just lights up.
So this game's been slightly epic, and we've got a whole nother epic period coming. 90 points right now. Rose City on top of Rat City with 53. Well, there's another game to be played today.
Absolutely. That would be Ole against Rocky Mountain for the first and second place in Western Region.
That's right, and they are already going to championships in Denver, Colorado, but they're fighting for seeding there. More importantly, back on the track now, Sulfuric Acid jamming for Rose City. He instantly becomes lead jammer before she even hits the pivot line as she sneaks by on the inside line of the front stretch, Mort.
Sulfuric Acid just been devastating, taking through any opportunity she sees and just flying through blockers.
Juliet Bravo gets pumped to the inside by Leia Smackdown, but she does get around to the outside of turn 4 for her initial pass as Sulfuric Acid passes through and picks up 5 points.
Looks like Leia Smackdown just took her eyes off Juliet Bravo for a second. Sulfuric Acid jumping for her last 4 points during that jam.
Avoiding Shorty Ounce at all costs. Shorty goes to the inside to shut down the line that she was hoping to take, and Sulfuric Acid goes, hey man, I got ups. I can still do this, yo.
Yeah, it's not just straight away, it's also vertical for Sulfuric Acid.
Score now, Rose City 99 in purple, Rat City 53 in white and emerald.
And it is Missile America 3-2-1 against number 8 Sully Skullkicker for Rose.
Missile America, I love watching her jam. She is such a hard worker. She's extremely, extremely tough, and she's so fleet of foot. She's the first to get out of the pack there, Mort, and she gets lead jammer.
And she is one of those players that is not only new to Derby, but she is actually pretty new to skating. She's so athletic, and she picked it up so fast.
You're a liar, and I'll tell you to your face. Missile America calls off the jam on 1 foot, picks up 3 points, and it looks like Sully Skullkicker picks up a major back block, sending her to the penalty box. This next one's going to be a power jam advantage for Rat City, especially with that woman on the jammer line.
And this is exactly what Rat City needs, and they're bringing out the Bruiser Anarchist, number 5 in white. Full complement of Rose against 3 Rat City blockers. Anarchist is such a towering presence. I was missing Reanimator there.
Don't ever miss Reanimator.
I know, it's a terrible, terrible thing.
You said that.
I know. And she will beat the living daylights out of me. Serious Mischief now rejoining. So now full complement of Rat players. We have 3 on 4. No, we have 4 on 4 on the track.
Anarchist trying to make her way through the pack. Looking for an inside line. Rose City front wall of 3. Hold it down. Looks like that's AK putting her, or JK, excuse me, trying to slow things down. Not able to do so. Lead jammer, Rat City.
And it is Anarchist coming around. She's about to re-engage the pack on this power jam. Rat City's got a lot of room to make up, a lot of points to catch up from. They're hoping Anarchist can be the girl to do it.
JK continuing to bombard Anarchist. Her eyes are on her at all times. She's hit her at the back of the pack. She's hit her right in the middle and continues to drive her back alongside Mick Swagger. Rose City's pack looking very, very tough as they rotate out platers as necessary during the jam.
It looks like Sully Skullkicker is now back on the track for Rose, looking for an inside line. Gets it, but just as she does, the jam is called. Anarchist putting another 4 on the board. That brings Rat City to 61, Rose City 99.
Unique, sexy, comfy socks for the roller girl and everyone. Sock dreams.
And lining up for Rose City, the incredibly fast Scald Eagle against Juliet Bravo in the white for Rat.
This is gonna be good. Rose City still with 99, Rat City 61, starting to pump up the jams a bit. 26 minutes, 20 seconds ago in the final period, deciding who goes to 3rd place.
Scald Eagle just shaking off a huge shoulder from Killa Kelly, and she's almost back at the back of the pack to start to make points.
She's doing that right now, Mort. She does go down the 8, almost actually. Never really truly meets the skate court. Stays on her feet, gets through for a grand slam. Now Rose City in the Century Club.
And Juliet Bravo finally to make her way around the outside. She's not the lead jammer, but now she's at least going to be able to stop some of the bleeding from Scald Eagle.
Scald Eagle getting through the pack. 4 more there for Rose City as she calls off the jam. 3 there for Rat City as Bravo picks up 3 points before everything comes to a conclusion.
And Mercy picking up an illegal procedure is going to put her in the box for this beginning of this next jam.
Excited Rose City bench, you're seeing right there. Everybody high-fiving Scald Eagle again. It's true. She is new to this sport of women's flat track roller derby. She's just awesome in general. Looks like it's going to be White Flight, number 54 in purple for Rose City.
Against Anarchist, number 5 in white for Rat.
White Flight looking for the inside line. Finds it. She's going to be your lead jammer, Rose City.
Anarchist has got a 2-wall to contend with in the front. One of those walls fails Moby-Wan Kenobi. Doing a great job against Anarchist in the front of the pack. Anarchist saying, hey, finally is let go.
Wow, number 55, Leia Smackdown being held at the back of the pack. Does not like that one bit. She fights so hard, she ends up getting enough penalties to go to the penalty box and taking a little timeout session as we have a pile up in turn 3.
And it looks like Reanimator's going to go to the box for that pile up. She's going to be called on a low block.
3-3 jam there. No advantage gained. 111 Rose City, 67 Rat City.
And go ahead and check out Flat Track Revolution. Flat Track Revolution, wear your passion. FlatTrackRevolution.com.
Oh yeah, make sure you have your customized nutrition programs and coaching. Put more life in your game. Herbalife. I'm actually in that program right now, and I don't care what you think. I think I look a little prettier than I did yesterday.
You look a little bit better every day to me, Dump Truck.
Sulfuric acid looking better every time she hits the track, Mort. She picks up lead jammer.
But Juliet Bravo, no slouch, just about a quarter track behind and closing.
That may be one of the most truthful comments I've ever heard. Slouch and Bravo do not ever end up in the same sentence.
No, absolutely not. And it looks like 0 points for Rat and 3 points for Rose, picked up by sulfuric acid.
Rob Lobster letting his opinion be known in the middle of the track, going with Sir Osis, going, hey man, what happened over here? A little bit of clarification there. I do like the open lines of communication that the benches have with the head ref. It sure makes for a very fluid gameplay.
Yeah, absolutely. Both the coaches making sure that everything was counted that should be counted and talking to each other. Looks like we've got a timeout. Gives us time to talk to you about Rebel Jewelry. Rebel Jewelry, unique silver jewelry downtown. Tell them you're with Derby for a discount. You just love those vendors that are giving discounts for roller derby.
You know, vendor or not, I think the world should give us discounts because we're more awesome than them. And that's how this works. Roller derby is amazing, and we like to prove it one left turn at a time.
And one of those great vendors is Dr. Hauschka. Dr. Hauschka is the WFDA's official bruise healer. Lose the bruise with Dr. Hauschka's Ouch Aid.
And don't forget about Adam Wheels, the official wheel of the Women's Flat Track Derby Association. If you don't know about those wheels, you can check them out at adamwheels.com.
What could I possibly put those wheels on, Dump Truck?
I don't know. How about some Carry the One Rydell Skates,
yes,
the official partner and skate of the WFTDA.
And we're just about to get started again. That is Scald Eagle number 50 in the purple for Rose against Anarchist, who took a little tumble trying to get around her, and then now Scald Eagle fell down in white for Rat.
Part of that official timeout was a points clarification. Right now, Rose City 114, Rat City 67.
And that is Anarchist going out for Rat. This is going to be a Scald Eagle major back block on Anarchist. This is a Scald Eagle Power Jam.
That's right. She's got lead jammer status and 5 points, and it's a Power Jam. For Rose City, does it get any better than this right now?
No, it really doesn't, because there are 2 Rat City blockers in the box, so this is going to be a very thin Rat City defense.
Rose City holding the line to almost a screeching halt. Looks like you've got... Wow!
Carmen Getsum is no slouch, taking Scald Eagle to the inside and then getting right back up.
Boy, what an athlete, able to land a hit like that and instantly pop up, ready for more. Scald Eagle, not shaken, not stirred, but definitely able to pick up 5 points.
And we've got about another minute left in this jam, another jam that could be devastating for Rat City. Carmen Getsum looking to do it, Reanimator looking to help, but Scald Eagle just staying on that inside line.
A quick shot to freedom and Grand Slam World is where Scald Eagle wants to live right now. Scoring points almost as if she just wants to, and that's how it happens.
Yes, indeed. Carmen Getsum now keeping Scald Eagle back. Killa Kelly helping.
Pack play getting tight again.
Carmen Getsum doing some great positional blocking up there in the front right now.
Power Jam now over. We do have a full track, 5-on-5 right now.
And Anarchist finally let go by Mercy. Scald Eagle calling off that jam.
Picks up 5 points right as she does so. And we're going to look at Rose City as they continue to spread this league. Scald Eagle, you've heard about her all weekend long. Hell, you've heard about her all season long. This is why, folks. She is great at this game. New or not, some people just belong in roller derby.
And 2 of those that belong in roller derby has stars on their helmets right now. That is Juliet Bravo, number 76 in white, against Sulfuric Acid, number 20 in purple for Rose.
Right now we have 21 minutes, 10 seconds to go. Rose City in purple, Emerald in white being Rat City.
And both jammers having a tough time. Juliet Bravo getting knocked to the outside. Sulfuric acid taking her opportunity as she does. Jalapeno business almost recycling her back, but not quite enough to hold her back for Juliet Bravo to get right on her tail.
Sulfuric's really got to kick in now. She may be a fast jammer, but there's this woman who named Juliet Bravo that tends to be a speed demon herself.
Yes, indeed. Juliet Bravo so fast and low on the track. Sulfuric acid doesn't want to take the chance calling off the jam.
Boy, that's a decision right there that's hard to make. In flat track roller derby, you hit those hips, it's the fourth whistle that's blown that the points stop being scored on. You have a jammer like Juliet Bravo that's on your heels. I would almost want to call that a little earlier than 4 feet behind the pack, but it worked out for Rose City. Sulfuric keeping her head in it, knowing that's what she needed to do, took advantage of it, trying to milk the clock so they can come out with a win and go to Denver for the first time as a competitor at a championship tournament.
Which I know would be huge for them. Reanimator number 31, first jam tonight, I believe, lining up for Rat City against White Flight, who's out in front already for Rose.
Both jammers out of the pack. Reanimator jamming for the first time in this game. Hot on White Flight.
Rat City has some real fast jammers, and we're seeing that. White Flight goes to call it and just runs into the back of Wiley Peyote, and he's going to go to the box for a major back block.
Wiley Peyote getting a little animated there out on the track, kind of giving a #1 hand signal and kissing somebody off at the same time. And it looks like White Flight's in the penalty box.
A little bit of business. Wiley Peyote getting a little bit jazzed up, and cooler heads have prevailed. Carmen Getsum is on the track with a star in her helmet in a power jam position for Rat City. This could be what Rat City needs to turn around this momentum. It certainly would be what Rat City needs if they start putting points on this board.
And momentum can be a huge player on your bench. You get Mo on your side, the whole world can change. We've got 20 minutes, 19:09 to go, actually. 19 minutes, 9 seconds to go. Rose City with 139, Rat City with 67. This is not unsurmountable. This can be done. We've seen it done before.
Yes, both coaches right now out talking to the referee crew. I think that's Sir Osis out there. They're having a little chat about what happened during that last jam.
I think the chat's actually about what happened after that last jam.
Yes, exactly.
There was a lot of heavy communication, physical and verbal, going from one bench to the other, or more specifically one player to the other, and we're going to figure out how that gets sorted out right now. Sir Osis talking to his crew, and we're going to have our official announcer, NSO, give us a little bit of a clarification.
So it looks like
it's a back block and a language misconduct.
Purple 54 is getting 2 minutes for that verbal communication after the jam.
That's a huge advantage for Rat City. Hopefully they can take that and turn it into success as Carmen Getsum gets out of the pack and gets lead jammer status.
That's a huge problem for Rose City. This leaves a full jam open to Rat City. Hopefully Rat City can keep their heads cool and keep their skaters on the track to convert.
This game is getting tougher and tougher and more physical as it goes. You can almost expect some people to be going to that penalty box a little too much, and we might start seeing some benches get a little more shallow as this game continues.
And it looks like that's starting to happen right now as Layla Smackdown gets an out-of-play major. She's headed to the box. Leaving it open now for Carmen Getsum, just 3 blockers from Rose on the track. And now Carmen Getsum picking up a high block.
And that totally kills the 2-minute opportunity that they have. You have to have a jammer on the track. That's how it goes. You want to take full advantage of 2 minutes of having only one jammer out there, then you too have to stay out of the penalty box. This is not the first time we've seen this today.
Absolutely, and that leaves it wide open for White Flight, making it look easy, picking up 5 high in the sky for Rose. No pack situation called. Pack has been reformed.
Both boxes full of skaters, and Rose City continues to fill the docket with 5-point passes. Grand slam there by White Flight, bringing the score now to 149 over Rat City's 71.
And Dump Truck, this has been an indicative problem for Rat City during this entire game. When opportunities have been presented to Rat City, they've not been taking advantage of them as much as they should, but when they've been presented to Rose, Rose is taking full work.
Boy, I do want to talk about full work. These officials have a job ahead of them. I am glad that you and I not only get the best seat in the house, but our job is to talk about stuff.
And not call stuff.
Right, exactly. If you're out there in stripes, you have a tough job. There's a lot of pressure. You've got a crowd on you. You want to make the right calls because you're also a part of this entire community which has opened its arm to us, you know, lovingly and openly. You want to make these right calls. You want to do people the right job. Man, I tell you, they've got a lot of pressure on them right now and a tough job ahead. So far, I'm satisfied.
Absolutely. And speaking of being satisfied about the refereeing, they're going to be a little bit talky right now and have a little bit of satisfaction figuring out some time and points and things like that. We have an official timeout. It gives us time to thank Elemental Technologies. Elemental Technologies, the world's most powerful video processing solutions, and we are back to Derby.
Looks like it's going to be Scald Eagle jamming for Rose City. Again now for Rat City is going to be Reanimator. Rose City in purple, Rat City in white. Both jammers still at the back of the pack. Looks like Reanimator maybe trying to sneak around the outside.
And there was a little bit of challenge by Rat City about the amount of time served in the penalty box by their jammer. That's what that official timeout was about. It seems to have been resolved.
Scald Eagle looks like she's going to pick up her fourth minor for a back block, heading to the penalty box herself, and again, it's a power jam. Advantage Rat City with Reanimator in control.
And Rat City another opportunity, hoping to convert some more points. Rat City has had a few opportunities during this game. Reanimator coming to a screeching halt, not to pick up that major back block. Super smart play by Reanimator right there.
Now it looks like number 74, Napalm Beth's going to be going to the penalty box to join Scald Eagle for Rose City. Rat City with the advantage of numbers in the pack and with jammers.
Reanimator, Rose City forcing Reanimator to come to stops, forcing her to slow down so that she does not pick up those major back block penalties, forming great walls in the back.
Wow, Reanimator's lateral movement allowing her to start almost completely on the outside of the front stretch, sees a gap on the inside, and she just steps right over, takes advantage, and turns up the juice, blows right by the pack.
And now it is, penalties are now Rose City's problem as they start to fill up the box. That looks like Mel Mangles heading to the box again for Rose. There's no room at the end. That's how troublesome penalties have been to Rose during this particular jam.
Looks like Reanimator picks up 4 points, did not get the fifth because she no pass, no penalty, and she's going to the penalty box now. Scald Eagle already in the middle of the action, jamming for Rose City in purple.
Just about 5 seconds left on the jammer clock, and Scald Eagle trying to take full advantage, looking for maybe even just one more point. Getting by Goody 2 skates, but not picking up the point, not quite in time.
Here we go. This is what we do this for, Mort. We are under 15 minutes now. 149 Rose City, the host of the WFTDA 2011 West Region Playoff. Rat City with 88. Both of these teams very used to high competitive play in women's flat track roller derby. The big difference here is Rose City has never been to the show. They've never made it to a national or championship tournament during the existence of the Women's Flat Track Derby Association. I guarantee you right now they have that one thing in their mind right now. It's our turn. We're in our house. Let's make this happen. Let's do it our way. And right now it's working for them.
And that, there's one thing that's got to be in Rat City's mind right now. They remember this is the team that took them out of contention to go to nationals last year, knocked them out of third place last year. That could happen again tonight, and you know that they don't want that to happen again.
They definitely do not. Right now we are going to get a clarification. Looks like the pack is going to start with some small numbers. It will start off at a power jam. Sulfuric acid looks to be jamming for Rose City.
And it looks like there was an official review over whether points were received or not before the high block penalty.
The review is whether or not the points were scored went through after the fact of the penalty being called. We are assessing that.
And that is still being assessed.
Cirrhosis calling both benches representation, so he can do a little clarification of his own.
And if you need something to do a little clarification on your face, you want to check out Dr. Hauschka. Dr. Hauschka celebrates the fresh faces of the WFTDA. Stop by their booth and get your fresh face.
Sulfuric trying to stay a little warm back there while she's got some time off. Not a bad idea. This is the first day. It's been a little chilly in the building. So you don't want those muscles to get tight and cramp up on you. Not in this game.
No. So far, Dump Truck, the second period has looked a whole lot like the first. First period, penalties been a big problem for Rat City. Second period, they cleaned up a little bit, but then started to fill the box. The big difference in the second period is Rat City has been presented with more opportunities to do well in the second period, but haven't quite been able to capitalize on those as much as they probably would like.
It's all about being able to follow through, and Rose City has been fighting them every inch of the way to make sure they do not. And following through right now with the fantastic ability to get through a pack no matter what. Sulfuric Acid, lead jammer.
And now that looks like Killa Kelly back in. Sulfuric Acid just hopping her way through to 5 more points for Rose.
She must have her ears on.
Rat City now trying to form that 4-wall to slow Sulfuric Acid down. Sulfuric Acid can't get around Wiley Peyote, pushing her out.
She's got a recycle behind Wiley Peyote. Now she's re-entered the jam. Reanimator now on her feet, meaning she's got 10 seconds or less to serve in the penalty box.
And she's going to run into Jalapeno Business and Hardcore. Sulfuric Acid pushed to the inside, but Jalapeno Business goes down, so it allows her to come back in.
Sulfuric Acid choosing to take the minor track cut by jumping in the action behind Wiley Peyote, and not the defender that put her out. But it looks like
Reanimator's going to the box for a major back block. That thing that she's been trying to avoid so well earlier, she just unfortunately got caught on.
It's going to catch up with you at some point, eventually.
And that leaves it wide open for Scald Eagle number 50 in purple for Rose City to be in a power jam position with a full minute. I would not cede a minute to Scald Eagle for a second if it were me.
159 Rose City in purple. Rat City with 88 points in white and emerald. 12 minutes, 35 seconds to go, Mort.
This is going to be a real tough long road for Rat City if they're going to make up the points in this. Scald Eagle looking like she's like a crouched cat, ready to pounce.
Well, she's so ready to use those talons of hers to pick up more points. It's out of control. She tries to go right to the middle where you have a 4-wall of Rat City, but then you also have Mel Mangles who comes right off the bench, puts a little disruption in there, and it's enough to make the magic happen for Rose City again as Scald Eagle picks up lead jammer.
And we've seen Scald Eagle do this a lot of times, Dump Truck, where she'll move to the inside, but she can move so quickly laterally to the outside, and she could just break through a pack. Scald Eagle now through the inside, busting through Shorty Ounce.
Taking the shortest trip to the other side of the pack, picking up 5 points on the way. 164 Rose City now. Rat City still with 88 in this power jam. Scald Eagle at the front of the pack, getting slowed down quite a bit, looking to move to the outside. Now she's in the backstretch.
And she's getting pushed out by Method of Madness. Juliet Bravo trying to get position.
Scald Eagle back in the middle of it, now at the front of the pack. Oh, wow, that's what you call a juke, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
you go right, I go left. I'll take 5 points with me.
Shorty Ounce has some devastating hips, but Scald Eagle is able to resist them there, moving to the inside. And it looks like it's going to be Sulfuric Acid lining up for Rose City. Reanimator's now standing. Means she's just seconds away from re-entering this jam.
Looks like there's no pack. Rose City moving forward as the first whistle is blown, forcing forward momentum. Rat City with the back 4-wall. Reanimator is back out there now. This is no longer a power jam. Sulfuric Acid still caught in traffic.
And Cadillac putting some deep hits on Reanimator right now.
And there goes JK as well.
Yeah, that's JK Rowling as the last line of defense, making good work of it. Sulfuric Acid just getting the business by Wiley Peyote and Jalapeno Business. 1-2 punch of 2-2.
Dude, Wiley Peyote is no bigger than a minute, but she'll take as much time out of your day as she needs to get the job done.
Absolutely. She will hit you over and over again. For every one hit, she'll deliver 50.
Reanimator gets to the pack, picks up 5 points, and behind her on her initial pass was sulfuric acid. That's a very successful jam for Seattle.
And now Rat City is knocking on the door of the century mark, starting to pick up some points and some momentum here. This is exactly what they need, Dump Truck, if they're looking to get closer in this game.
I agree. That needs to be the point where the world changes. It's 93 Rat City, 169 Rose City, and now just under 10 minutes left in gameplay.
Yeah, perhaps sensing this, Rose City's put in Scald Eagle, so effective this game, number 50 in purple, and she's going to be against Missile America 3-2-1 in white for Rat.
Missile America at the front of the pack. Always a formidable opponent. It's off to the races. Looks like Missile America the first one to get out, but Scald Eagle trying to wear the same pair of Spanx as she is right behind her. Almost no room for daylight or anything else for that matter to get through.
Scald Eagle giving a little bump to Missile America at the end of that jam.
For two women that are new to roller derby, you sure would never know it.
No.
Missile America, new to the game, new to 8 wheels.
Yeah, a pick, by the way, of my wife, picked her up on the team, so that was her introduction, was my wife picking up Missile America. And I remember her coming home saying, there was this girl, she can't skate all that well, but I have to have her. I gotta get her. She's big and she's awesome.
We are going to be in the middle of an official timeout right now.
And that gives us time to thank Adam Wheels. Adam Wheels, the official wheel of the WFTDA. And if you're looking to put him on something, you're going to want to put him on your Rydell Skates, who's a proud partner and the official skate of the WFTDA. Speaking about the WFTDA, at WFTDA.com, if I'm seeing a stream right now and it's not quite to the quality that I'm looking for, I can go on and I can upgrade to the premium quality stream for a mere $20.
That's nothing. You can afford $20.
I could do that.
Well, it looks like they're overcalling the destroying the pack call, as there is no pack determined with no forward momentum at the beginning of the jam.
Ah, yes, indeed.
To have a pack, you must have forward motion. It's the motion that defines the pack. If you ain't moving, there ain't no pack to destroy.
Absolutely. And it's sulfuric acid, number 20 in the purple for Rose, against Anarchist, number 5 in the white for Rat. Anarchist making short work of that outside line. She is out front while everyone was standing still.
And this is not the first jam as of recent that Rat City has been able to slow down sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid has been able to make quick work of these packs, and right now she keeps getting stuck in the back in very, very heavy traffic.
White Flight putting some good hips on Anarchist to slow her down, and now Anarchist got recycled back. She's now back out front. 5 in the sky is sulfuric acid heading to the box. This could be another huge opportunity for Rat. Sulfuric acid heading to the box for a major track cut.
Anarchist already in the middle of the gauntlet. Does get bumped out of bounds. Little confusion there. She takes advantage of it. There's a wide gate there in turn 2.
And Rat City is now past the century mark. 103 points to Rose City, 169. That's 63-point differential. But if Anarchist keeps skating like this, it's possible Rat City could make it up.
White Flight getting in front of Anarchist. The entire Rose City defense moves to the right, leaves the inside line unattended. Anarchist is going to take advantage of that every time. She picks up 5 points as she does so.
Anarchist around again for 5. Huge jam for Rat City.
We talked about it. That could have been the moment where momentum gets on Rat City's side. It ain't over. 169 Rose City, 113 now Rat City.
And those of you watching at home have just got to be going crazy right now for this great game happening. Anarchist getting some trouble from J.K. Rowling and White Flight. She's decided wisely to call it off. And Rose City starting to fill up the box, but sulfuric acid is standing.
Looks like that may have been a 24-point jam.
Huge jam for Rat City. And if you're a Rat City fan watching at home right now, you have got to be really excited.
Look at the Rat City fans here in the stands. I know they're excited.
Absolutely. 3, 2, 1, blasting off Missile America. Like a rocket, she's got Cadillac J.K. Rowling, but it is nothing to Missile America as she just blows through them like a rocket.
I tell you, boy, howdy, the only thing left there is misery. She came through that hole untouched, almost no room to get through. She found it and also grabs 5 points on already her second pass with only 20 seconds off the jam clock.
And Missile America calling off the jam. Sulfuric acid able to pick up 2 points, not quite enough, calling it off soon enough. But this is exactly what Rat City needs. They need to put differential towards their side, jam on after jam.
Yeah, it seems like they have figured something out. They have figured out how to contain Sulfuric Acid, who in the first period was one of 2 top scorers. Now she's not as big of a weapon as of right now for Rat City.
And it looks like there's going to be a team timeout for Rose City. Rose City looking to maybe get into the head of Rat City a little bit, maybe start to break up their momentum. Sometimes when that train is going, all you need to do is switch the tracks for a little bit to get things back on your side.
Well, right now, Mort, it is a 50-point game. We've got 6 minutes left on the clock. I can estimate to my best abilities, we've got possibly 8 jams left.
Yeah.
You could fit about 8 jams in there, especially with the hit it and quit it strategy where you pick up your points, call it off, redo it. Pick up your points, call it off, redo it, which is not a bad idea for Rat City. If you've got 8 jams to go, you really have to dominate. You don't have an option. These next 8-ish jams you must own from the first whistle to the last whistle to be successful. 50 points can definitely be done in 8 jams.
You're absolutely right, Dump Truck, but it's just not 50 points. It's 50 points if the other team makes no points.
True.
Which is very unlikely. So you're absolutely right. Not only do you have to dominate, but you really have to hold them back and keep them from scoring, because 50 points could be a moving 50 points as you cross over point.
You think penalties might have a big deal to do with these last 8-ish jams?
I think the penalties are going to have a big deal to do with these last 2 jams. Right now, speaking of penalties, Rose is 2 blockers down. That leaves a 2-blocker pack advantage for Rat City. It's exactly what they need. It would be better if there wasn't a Rose jammer on the floor, and it would be better if that jammer wasn't Scald Eagle, but they're still in an advantage position. Anarchist lining up for Rat.
Anarchist goes to the outside. Wily Peyote shuts it down, stopping Scald Eagle from following suit. Rat City with the back wall of 4, unstoppable right now. It looks like Anarchist is able to get through that pack and pick up lead jammer.
And Rat City just locking down Scald Eagle with that 4 wall in the back. Scald Eagle now playing defense. Anarchist pushing her own teammates and clawing through her own team. She's got to get around Mobi-Wan Kenobi.
I like the misdirection, a little touch on the hip here and there. Hey, I'm over here on the right. No, I'm not. I'm on the left. They're using every single tool of the trade as they get 5 points as Anarchist exits the pack.
And Scald Eagle finally able to break the pack. She's going to put pressure on Anarchist. Anarchist looking for another 4 points.
She's got to do it now, and she's got to call it off.
Huge whip from Wily Peyote and Juliet Bravo, one after the other. Anarchist goes down, calls the jam. A little bit disappointed, Anarchist, because she knew that her hips didn't quite get in front. That would have given her 3 points off the ghost points for the 2 Rose blockers in the box. Wasn't able to convert.
I tell you, you cannot knock them for trying. They did everything they could to try and pick up at least a couple of more points at the end of that jam. Very aware of Scald Eagle and how dangerous she can be. She calls off the jam at the appropriate time.
Absolutely. It is Sulfuric Acid lining up in the purple for Rose against 3-2-1 Missile America in the white for Rat. Missile America been doing a great job during the second period and pushing her way through. Sulfuric Acid less effective in the second period. She's stuck behind a Rat defense.
I've got 3 words for you. Dominate. That's exactly what Rat City's doing right now, and that's what they must do. They've got to lock it down. There is absolutely no room for error if they want to go to Denver for the championship tournament.
And Rose City just doing their best, holding back Missile America. They got to keep her from scoring points. And it looks like there was a major forearm called on Shorty Ounce that's going to diminish Rat City's pack by 1, and now is Missile America. Such bad timing for Missile America heading to the box. Sulfuric Acid, Power Jam.
That's right, Power Jam, Rose City, and Sulfuric Acid getting out of the pack. That was her initial pass. This will be her point scoring opportunity. 3 minutes, 39 seconds ago in the final period of regulation. Sulfuric Acid caught the back of the pack, trying to find a way out.
And we talk about those jams, Dump Truck, where you think this may be the jam where the game cannot be gotten back. This could be that jam.
We could be looking at the point of no return with 5 points now being awarded to Rose City via Sulfuric Acid.
Some big mistakes are going to have to happen for Rose City in order for Rat City to be able to get back in. Not happening during that lap, though. Another 5 points for Sulfuric Acid.
Looks like J.K. Rowland's going to be heading to the penalty box. points. So in the penalty box, we've got one blocker from each team and one jammer from Rat City. Power jam situation, 3-on-3 in the pack. Looks like Sulfuric gets bumped to the infield.
And that is hardcore, just having huge shoulders against every Rose blocker that tries to get by her.
Exactly. I mean, that shoulder is about as high as their ears are, and she's got to place it perfectly, and she's really great at it. But Sulfuric Acid's able to squeak by, picks up another 5 points. Now 186 Rose City, 126 for Rat City. It is now a much wider gap.
Yes, and I think that was the jam of the point of no return right there. It's going to be very, very difficult for Rat City to make up the points. It can be done, but some records may have to be broken.
2 minutes, 19 seconds ago in the final period. Rose City has 2 timeouts left. Rat City has 1. I would definitely expect them to be used by Rat City. Rose City has the ability to ignore them, as they do have a handed lead right now and not much time left to do damage.
And it looks like there's an official timeout being called on the track right now. It gives us time to thank some of our sponsors. We'd like to thank Blood and Thunder Magazine, Worldwide Roller Derby Coverage, and the World Cup. Blood and Thunder.
You know, let's talk about the game that's coming up. I don't know if it's safe to say anything right now, so we're going to leave this for the next couple of jams.
Yes, please.
The next game coming up, Rocky Mountain versus Ole. Now, they've seen each other 2 times before.
Yes, indeed. The first time went to Ole. The second time went to Rocky.
No, both times went to Rocky at West Regions last year.
Yes.
And then Rocky Mountain with a 1-point win at championships in Chicago last year. Now they're going for seedings, which can be very, very important.
Absolutely.
It depends on who you're going to start off playing. If you're number 1, the likelihood that you will play someone farther down the rankings is quite likely. If you're number 2, you're going to have a tougher opponent that's going to make it a little more difficult for you to advance in that tournament. So there's a lot on the line, even though they're both heading to the tournament. There's even more on the line here, because this determines which team gets to go. This is the battle for 3rd place between Rose City in purple, Rat City in white. 186 with the home team on top. Rat City with 130. We've got 2 minutes, 8 seconds to go, Mort.
And I'm looking at 550 or 505. That means 50 for Scald Eagle and 5 Anarchist in the white. Scald Eagle jockeying for position. Anarchist also looking for a hole. Sees one to the inside, doesn't quite get it. But Scald Eagle just fills its place, and she is out. Going to be very, very difficult for Rat right now, as Scald Eagle is the lead jammer.
She gets out of that pack, and now so does Anarchist. Both jammers are out. The one that owns the jam clock is wearing purple for Rose City and some fantastic makeup.
Anarchist just jumping the apex, but picks up a low block, which is going to put her in the box for Rat. She is unhappy, and how could she not be? That is a devastating penalty with just just over a minute 30 on the period clock.
That's right. Now it's 186 Rose City, Rat City 134. White Flight now on the jammer line. Now she hasn't jammed a lot in the second period. She was having some penalty trouble, and they did not want to end up in a power jam. I'm sure that's why we haven't seen her jam a lot. We're here towards the very end of the game. Some of the final moments that will decide which team goes as the number 3 seed from the West Region playoffs. Everything's on the line. We've got timeouts being called. The officials have to get these calls right.
And Rose City is in a great position right now to be that number 3 seed. They've got a good wide lead. They are in a power jam position, and the clock is just quickly ticking down. It is possible that Rat City will not be able to get a jammer on the floor to skate a jam before the end of this game.
That is true. We've only got 1 minute now, 9 seconds to go in gameplay left. 186 Rose City, Rat City 134. If we do see the tables turn, it will be a record in WFTDA jam point scoring. Right now, I don't see it happening. White Flight is the only jammer out there in a power jam.
And as you can imagine, Rat City was contesting that low block call, but the call stands. Very important for Rat City to do right now. If they could have gotten their jammer out of the box, there was a chance. Having their jammer in the box,
boy,
chances are very slim.
Sorry, you see White Flight down there just twitching. She's ready to go. She wants to get this game going. They are ready to play. this fantastic game of women's flat track roller derby. The first whistle is blown. The front wall of 4 purple Rose City Rollers have already been on the move.
And White Flight could just hang out behind the pack and skate slow, not try to engage the pack, but that is not her style. She goes right into it, and she's behind Serious Mischief, finds the hole in the center. White Flight is out as the lead jammer. She now owns the clock.
You could not be more right. That girl likes to play roller derby. She's not going to just follow the pack and let the time run out. She's going to try and pick up more points at every opportunity until she finds this. She's like, okay, I own the clock now. That's what I really need. If I want to call off the jam, I can. And right now, what I want to do is milk it to freedom and just feel the flow. Right in the bowl, doing the dance. It feels good. Rose City 186, Rat City 134.
And White Flight knows that she owns this clock, and it is up to her to skate into that pack. The pack cannot come back and meet her. She's starting to get close to the pack, but she's just watching that clock, puts her hands in the air. She knows this one is one for the record books. Looks like it's going to be Rose City 186, Rat City 134 unofficial, but I think it's going to be made official really quickly.
Definitely. This is now going to be the first time that the Rose City Rollers have ever in the history of the WFTDA made it to the championship tournament.
Absolutely, Dump Truck, and this arena is gone bananas.
I love
this. Is the hometown team. This is the hosting team. This is now the 3rd place team.
That's right. They're going to be heading to Denver, Colorado in November. So many smiles. There are tears all over. This league has been working hard at their game and hard at making sure that they can be one of the top tier teams in the West Region playoffs.
And they certainly took advantage of all those opportunities during this game. When they got an opportunity, they capitalized on it. When Rat City got an opportunity, they killed it. Portland really played a great game, and they deserve that 3rd place seed. And Rat City played with great heart, had some trouble with penalties, had some trouble, like I said, capitalizing on those opportunities. It just wasn't their game tonight, Dump Truck.
This game, much like the last between Denver and Bay Area, it was just a solid, great game of roller derby. It unfolded the way the story was written, one jam at a time, and who came out on top? Rose City. They're going to be the ones buying the plane tickets to championships, and they're not going to be watching. They're going to be on 8 wheels, and they're going to represent the West Region very, very proudly.